have limited guests. Interior PS led the inspections of the stadium this afternoon with security beefed up in the area. Our reporter David Mudoka.
Well, Abubakar Abdullahi, a very good evening to you from the county's television headquarters in county number 047, that is the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, to county number 045. This is Kisii County. This is the place where this year's Mashujaa Day celebrations are set to take place. Of course, in a few hours' time, this is a chilly eve to that particular celebration. Worth noting is that this is the first national event to be held with the members of the public part of it. If you can remember, a few months ago, we had the Madaraka Day celebrations held at State House, of course, in strict adherence to government guidelines against what was mentioned as public as well as political gatherings. So, in particular tomorrow, as you mentioned before, Abubakar, of course, the number of guests today will be limited. The iconic Kisii Stadium that is set to be the host for this particular national event actually has a capacity of about 25,000 people, but tomorrow only 3,000 invited guests will be at that particular stadium. That shows how the government has tried to ensure that, of course, it achieves social distancing. But again, it's a day worth celebrating. A number of heroes we've seen, despite the year being a somewhat dark one, but definitely there is a reason to smile. And on that note, I would like to speak to a number of residents here. Earlier today, during our 7 p.m. bulletin, we were at the particular stadium where final preparations have been put in place to make sure that everything goes as planned tomorrow. Today, at this particular juncture, we've decided to tour a number of streets here in Kisii town. And at this particular moment, I'd like to speak to a number of residents to tell us what their expectations are ahead of tomorrow's Mashujaa Day, as well as who their Shujaa is, who their hero is. So let me just speak to 2 of them. If I can speak to you, sir. Good evening to you.
Good evening to you.
Maybe you can tell us, we can begin with your name and what are your expectations for tomorrow, sir?
My name is Sospita Samba, a resident in Kisii. We are very happy to host this celebration in Kisii town because we always watch them in other counties like Kakamega and in Nairobi. It is just a favor for us to get this function in Kisii town. As the residents of Kisii town, we are expecting more development in our town. By now, we have just seen the development, like Kisii Stadium has been built up. The roads have been maintained. Actually, even now, we are having street lights on our roads, meaning there is safety. Yes. Yeah.
Abubakar, worth noting is that if you can remember a few months back when we were supposed to have the Madaraka Day celebrations, this place was set to be the particular venue where the head of state was expected to lead the country in celebrating the day that Kenya marked its independence. But, you know, it's double joy for Kisii residents because even if that particular celebration was halted, was cancelled, this particular place again was earmarked to hold today's Mashujaa Day celebrations, formerly Kenyatta Day. Just one more resident here, sir. If I can speak to you, who is your Shujaa briefly?
Enel Motego.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very well. Abubakar, worth noting also is that we had a number of security teams gallivant around the particular venue, that is the Kisii Stadium, trying to make sure that everything is in order. And we also had government officials led by Interior PS Karanja Kibicho, who was here to see and evaluate how the preparedness is at this particular area. And if we can just have his bite on what he said earlier today when he was addressing journalists at around 3 p.m.
Good morning. We have been here trying to check that everything is in order, checking that all the activities that we will have here tomorrow connect, and to ensure that we will have a very successful day. Counter check our security preparedness, counter check our traffic order, and counter check that the activities that follow, even after the celebrations are
Indeed, it is a story that we are keeping close tabs. Tomorrow the event is set to start at around 9 a.m. It will be live on TV 47. That's all from here. It's a wrap from county number 045 on behalf of my camera person Noreen Mombi, our driver Tom Boya. Back to you in studio, birthday boy.
Well, thank you, David Mudhoka, our reporter who is covering that story and following that lead from Kisii County. Just a reminder that that stadium where the event will be held tomorrow